As summer draws to a close, I headed over to Hongdae to meet with a very special artist. Oh, there he is.
Oh, shit.
Hey! Hi, Lasse.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Sweaty.
Yeah. I know, you're riding the bike all over Seoul.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing. So, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm so glad that you are here. Let's be careful of the traffic here. This is definitely the eco-friendly way for you to travel around Seoul.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Much more fun than subway thing.
Definitely. It's not too heavy with your guitar in the back?
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, well, thank you for making these sacrifices for coming to our show. So let's go and start heading towards the place where we're going to get interviewed. Lasse Lindh is a Swedish singer-songwriter. With his signature, unique voice, he presents music that fuses pop and rock. He began to gain fans in Korea in 2006 when his songs Come On Through and The Stuff was featured on the hit sitcom Soulmate. Lasse Lindh fell in love with Korea and actually came to live in the Sinchon Hongdae area for a year, giving performances and writing music and books. He recently came back to Korea for the Pentaport Rock Festival. He performed new songs that he worked on with Korean indie singer Yeongene, and despite concerns that the two musicians had contrasting styles, the result was a success. Another Lasse song was featured on the recent popular drama I Need Romance, proving that Koreans were eager to see more of Lasse Lindh. Join me, Susan MacDonald, as we learn more about his music and life on today's The Interview. So here we are.
I like it.
Cool place, yeah? Awesome.
Sure.
Well, have a seat.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, I'm so glad that you're here today.
Me too, finally.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let me just introduce myself and you to the guests that are watching us. Hello, everyone. I'm Susan Lee MacDonald, and welcome back to The Interview. Today we have Lasse Lindh, a Swedish musician, singer, songwriter, and scriptwriter. He's got many talents, and we're going to find out all about him today. So first of all, what brings you to Korea this time? I know it's the Pentaport Rock Festival, yes?
Yeah, this time it's been a number of shows and TV things and magazines and stuff. But yes, that was my main thing when I got here, and some recordings.
So tell me a little bit about that festival.
Just a pretty cool rock festival with a lot of Korean bands, not that much foreigners. So I guess I was one of the few, and that feels always good. I think it's more, for me, it's more fun to be in a festival with Korean artists than to be in a festival with just, well, I love that kind of festivals too. I love basically I love festivals because when you perform for ordinary concert, like they pay to see you, they come, they are pretty much your big fans, they know the song, so it's pretty easy to win them over, you have them in your arm, you know. But when you play the festival, you have much more harder resistance, you have to fight to win them over, and I love that feeling that you have to, it's a battle.
You have had a kind of a love affair with Korea, from what I understand, and and there are many Korean fans, especially a lot of women, who are just gaga over you.
I love the word gaga. That's a cute word.
So with all these women gaga all over you, I'd like to know a little bit about why you think it is that your music appeals to Koreans and maybe particularly women here.
Well, the women question I think is pretty easy to answer, because it's pretty much a fact that women like guys with pretty high-pitched voices, and while men kind of tend to like darker voices. Same thing that girls don't generally are not huge fans of beard and mustaches, but guys are more like, oh, that's a cool beard, they're kind of in awe of each other. And then, I think for Korean, I think my voice, it's very different from Korean singing style. Korean singing style is they're all very good singers here, I think. They have very strong and clear voices. my voice is not that strong and not that clear. It's more, it's very unusual here. So I think it's unusual everywhere, but especially here, I think.
Now, you have recently produced an album here, and I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about that. I listened to it yesterday, and I really liked one of the songs. The world keeps spinning around, and it's a very, very catchy tune. But if you could tell me a little bit about how you came to start that album and about your co-singer.
Well, this song, anyway, this song, The World Keeps Spinning, I wrote this when I lived in Seoul. When I lived in, so I wrote it like almost 2 years ago, actually, and recorded it here too. It's basically a song about big city life, kind of. I think you can never feel as lonely as you can as in a big city. That's a invigorating feeling too. I love, you know, you're an ant, you know, and that can also be a very uplifting feeling, that you realize that all your problems doesn't really matter, you know. In the end, we're all gonna die, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So, and that's a kind of encouraging thought, I think. Like, if my love life or my career or anything goes bad, who cares? I will be fine anyway.
Yes.
That's the world keeps spinning, you know. It doesn't really matter.
We'll all be okay in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
So you sang with Yeongene, and I wonder how was that to work together with a Korean singer?
I wish we sang more, you know, like in private when we did it, but we couldn't do it because I had to be in Sweden, so we kind of did it over the internet. And
yes, you were in Sweden when you sang and recorded this, and she was here. That must have been quite a challenge to get that.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. But when I got here, though, when we started singing songs together, that's where the magic happens, you know, when you perform together. And so now I would say the experience was really good, but that part, sending songs back and forth, not so good. I think.
Well, so let's get back to you and your love affair with Korea. You came first to Korea in 2006, right?
Yeah.
And that was because your song, Come On Through, was selected by one of Korea's top dramas at the time.
Yeah.
And you came here for a concert, and then you also came back several times afterwards. You lived here for a year from 2009 to 2010, and so you've been here quite often. Why do you keep coming back to Korea?
Well, for me, it's pretty easy. I mean, I would say the first 3 times I came here was just for shows, you know. And I came here, stayed like 3, 4, 5 days, you know, boom, 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 you do, and then you go. So you spend a lot of time in taxi and cars and stuff like that, and you know that's not so fun, you know. But I really fell in love with Korea when I moved here, and that was October 2009. And actually, hugely because of my friend here. He's an American. He stayed here many, many years. He had a bike, and I love biking, and he loves biking. So we said, let's
like a bicycle.
Yeah, like a bicycle.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what you came in on today.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And I think he knows Seoul better than most people living here, you know, because he's very adventurous kind of guy. So he just started taking me on all those bike rides in places, weird places in Seoul, and you know, along the river, and you know, different neighborhoods that just unusual. And then I fell in love like that. Wow. And you know, it's a very cool city. I think it's very cool, and you have so much stuff, and even a lot of stuff, you know, that Koreans don't seem to know that there is, you know, like if they just go a little bit, you know, because it's easy to stay in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Like you're Itaewon, you're in Hongdae, you stay there, you know.
Well, a lot of foreigners do tend to just stay in the Itaewon, Gyeongnidan, Haebangchon areas.
Yeah, personally, I don't. That's not my area at all. I go there rarely, you know. I love old school Korean, like Uljiro or Mapo or Sinchon and Han.
Very cool.
Yeah. And Hongdae, of course.
So Lasse, in the past number of weeks, you've been busy with the festival, you've been busy with promoting your new mini album, and you know, the core of what you do is very creative, yes? You know, you're a creator kind of at heart, a musician and songwriter, singer. I wonder how you became interested in music, and I think a lot of people would like to know that too.
Oh my God, well, I started my first like fake band when I was 10 years old.
Fake band?
Well, you know, we mimed kind of thing.
Okay.
You know? But my
lip-syncing?
Yeah, yeah. But my real band, when I was 15, I started my first band. And
that's very young.
Very young. But I basically knew from the start that I wanted to be a pop star. And I can tell you a little funny episode actually.
Yeah.
It's not this guitar, but my other guitar is a guitar my father gave me, and he gave it to me. Apparently, I don't remember this exactly, but I come into the room, I was like angry because I had a band, but I was only the singer. So I didn't like the songs they wrote, and I was like, screw this, you know, I can never, you know, fully sing perfect. I will never be famous. I need to write my own songs. And I came in and I was like, really upset. Mother, I will never learn to play guitar. It's too late now. My life is over. And she's like,
you were 15?
Yeah, and she's like, what? Come on, you're 15, chill. And then my dad came and he said, well, here's the guitar, and here's the basic chords. And I still have that note.
Oh, wow.
So that day, I just started to practice, and I practiced all day, you know. And the same night, I wrote my first song. So I just took them into the room and I played my first song.
Oh,
and
cute.
Well, obviously this song sucked, you know, it's my first song. And they were like,
you're not going to share
you know,
that song with us today?
Be quiet, you know. No, I don't remember that song, but it probably, you know, when people practice, like, shut up, you know. But that's how it started. And after that, you know, for me, songwriting that's the core of my music, absolutely, writing songs.
Wow. So if songwriting is the core of what you do, how do you get inspired to do songwriting?
Well, lyrics is really important to me. That's like, so would I have life? You know, simple as that. You know, there's no faking anything. I think there's no easy. I mean, of course, if you just want to be like a rich person who writes songs, you can just, you know, write songs you don't really like, but
that have mass appeal.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not when I do it. So my life, my fears, my dreams, other people's life, just things I just imagine up. It's really interesting to just, I love being in a place and just look at people and you just start pick your mind, like, who is he, who is she, what's the story, what's the background, you know, and you make up imaginations. And from that, and from my own life, I build stories, basically.
Tell me about when you first started your music career. You said that you started when you're 15.
Yeah.
And walk me through the chronology. I know you were signed with Universal and also EMI down the road.
Yeah.
So when did that happen and how did that happen?
That's a long story, but okay, I will narrow it down a little bit fast. So after high school, I basically realized immediately that this is what I should do. So I started a band with my best friend, and we needed a bass player, and there were no bass players. So I said to my dad, because he's also, you know, he's very, he's a director and stuff. So I said, why don't you play with us? And he did.
So funny that you asked your father to be in your band.
And that was became like a gimmick, and that became a thing when Universal signed us, you know, because we made a huge tour, and to have a 20-year-old kid and a 50-year-old dad in the same band playing indie rock, that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
So after that, and we made like one album, and then I was signed to EMI and I did solo stuff. After that, I left EMI on my choice and took a bit of a break. 2001, I recorded an album that later became the reason why I get popular in Korea.
That's
like
right.
5 years
Come on
later.
through. Right?
Exactly. And at the same time, I started good movie school, and I did movie school for 4 years, and made 2 more albums during that time.
Wow.
So that's like 4 or 5 albums already. In 2005, I did my first Swedish album in a very long time, and that became like a hit in Sweden.
Yes.
So after that, I did 3 albums pretty fast in 3 years. But then when I came 2009, I was really tired of my music. I peaked, you know. So I made like a compilation album in Sweden, and that was like the turning point. That was the end of that era. So then the goal was to start over, basically.
And that's what brought you to come to Korea?
Yes, that's when I come to Korea, to get inspiration and to find a new style of music. And I have done it now, but I found that style, but for different reasons I haven't recorded so many songs. A few songs though.
With some of the songs, and earlier I had asked you about inspiration for why you do music. Walk me through maybe one of the songs that you would like to kind of explain the genesis of how a song came about, like how you decided on writing a song that became popular, and the story behind a particular song, and maybe you could even sing it for us today.
I will do it. Well, first of all, you have to, and this is almost always true, all the really famous songs, you know, most of the really famous songs are written very, very fast. Because, you know, you have like, if you write too hard on a song, you lose it. And there's something very direct about a few famous songs. And same from all my really famous songs. Has been written super fast and just like a stroke of genius. So this is my new song here in Korea, and it's called I Could Give You Love. And it's now being on a TV drama, a new drama here called I Need Romance. And I wrote that song on Chuseok 2010.
The Korean Thanksgiving.
Yes. And it was like, you know, one of the perfect nights. You know, it was, you know, I live in this huge building, and I'm pretty high up, and I had this huge window by my room, and it was just thundering and, you know, raining and everything. And I just picked up my guitar, and I just felt it, you know, this is it. And in 20 minutes, the song was finished.
Wow.
And that's pretty much how it works when you get like some kind of song, and then it's easy. Usually you have to struggle for a whole day or 2 days, you know, but that's that kind of song.
Well, if you would do us the honor of singing that song for us and giving us a taste of that, that'd be great. And I know we've got your wonderful acoustic guitar right behind us.
We do.
So Lasse, I hear that this is quite an ancient guitar.
It is. It's made out of Swedish pine from 1945.
1945?
Yes, end of World War II.
So it's a guitar of celebration because it's the end of the war.
True.
Fantastic.
Yeah, maybe that's why it's been so nice to me. This is my little baby.
Oh, it goes with you wherever you go, I bet.
Yeah, for sure. It goes wherever I go.
So now, as a singer-songwriter, I'm just curious, how do you come up with songs, and what is your inspiration for these songs? And, you know,
well, usually it's kind of, you know, not struggle, but I always start with the melody, but at the same time, you basically instantly know what kind of mood the song is going to be in. So I just get some guidelines for myself, what this song is going to be about, and after that I slowly construct the story like that suits the mood that I feel when I sing the melody. So that's usually how it works. But then sometimes, you know, you just write a song in 30 minutes and boom, it's finished.
Wow.
And these songs are always the ones that becomes famous, and that's the same with, I would say, if you ask almost any artist about their, you know, #1 song, it's always the song they wrote when they didn't expect to write anything, when they're in a tour bus or in a hotel room or, you know, something like that. So, yeah.
It's like a gift from
the
universe.
Yes,
or something.
yes, something just happens for a very short period, and you just, you know, you grab it, and you should grab it. And so I'm gonna play one of the songs that I wrote that is just that kind of style.
Okay.
Oh, this ship is wrecked. The cliffs came so fast. I just closed my eyes, but you closed your heart. I could give you love, I couldn't give you love. I couldn't give you love. If you let me in. If you let me in. If you let me in. Oh, you never lost me. 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 I'm still yours, and I could give you love. I could give you love. I could give you love. If you let me in. Oh my God, I've been in love many times. I'm in love every day, basically, in something. Yeah, well, I think no art ever made, any good art anyway, it's never made without love. And so, yeah, huge fan of love. And it affects me a lot. It affects everything I write, everything I do.
But getting back to your music, when you're writing these lyrics and it just kind of comes to you as kind of a stroke of genius or inspiration, do you record it? Do you write it down? How do you actually keep a record of it? Because if you lose it, then it's gone, right?
Yeah. Well, I both record it and write it down, but I can't write notes. I mean, musical notes. And I can't even write chords. Many of the chords I play, I have no idea what they are. So I'm terrible musician in that way. Many times you have a show, and especially Korean musicians are so trained, and they come up and they show me like notes, like they want me to say something, like I don't know, like just play, and that's actually an interesting thing in Korea, because when I come here and play, I have different bands, different backup musicians, and they're very different from Swedish musicians.
How are they different?
Because, they always look at the notes and they're like really, like they are so serious. So I just try to make them. I mean, it's good. They're super talented, but they are too good. And I want to take that away. I want them to be less perfect, because that's when it happens. That's if you listen to a band, it's not about if they make any mistakes. It's about how much passion they play with it. So I always try to bring that out from them. Because stop looking at the note, just be there.
I imagine that it's that passion that your listeners really hear and feel from your voice and from your music. And I think maybe that's why your music has been selected for a lot of Korean popular dramas soundtracks. Koreans call these soundtracks OSTs, but in English it's actually soundtrack. But it's selected as a soundtrack because it has to be emotional and kind of bring about some type of feeling. What did it feel like for you when your song was first selected for the Korean drama in 2006?
Well, honestly, first I didn't feel anything, because many times you have my songs, because my songs are kind of like moody and kind of almost like movies, I think. So, but most of the times when you have a song selected for a TV show or a commercial or something, it fails. Like it's a bad show or it's a bad commercial. You have no idea.
The product doesn't sell or something.
Yeah, exactly. But this time, it was a really good drama and a really unique drama, and kind of became like a cult drama. And they used my song in a very, I think, pretty genius way. They used it like a love song for like this couple never meeting each other. So it became like a love theme for many Korean girls, I guess, and guys too, I guess, but for you know, their soulmate, the love they can't get, but in the end they will get.
Yeah, like
So-
that unrequited love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this song gave them, you know, hope and sadness, and you know, I got so many cute emails like, "Oh, listen to your songs when it's raining. I listen to your songs when I'm happy." You know, like it's so nice. You're so
Yeah.
cute. Yeah.
Well, I would love for you to sing us that song that really brought you here to Korea. Come on through. Would you?
I will try.
Would you?
It's actually written. I wrote it on guitar, but this is also a song that I've sung really fast. Same thing here. Just happened. Boom. But I wrote it on guitar, and then my producer, because I produced it with a guy, we produced it together. We were just playing around. And he said like, "But why not do it on piano?" And then we did it, and that's when we come up with this kind of theme for the whole song. Yes. So I will try to do it in guitar.
Okay, great. We'll bring over the mic real
Yeah.
quick.
Ain't so easy to love you true. A counter full of rattlesnakes and all that makes you blue. Oh, but it's worth it. I love the thrill. 'Cause come, 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 come on through. Come on, you, come dig right into my heart. Come on through, come on you, come dig right into my heart.
Well, going back to the theme of you being a storyteller and song being one of the medium where you can actually tell that story, you like to tell stories through your writing too. So whether it's a screenplay, also you said that you also wrote a book, the Hello Seoul. Please tell me a little bit about how that book came about, because that was specifically for a Korean audience, yes?
You mean Hello Soul?
Yes.
Actually, it's called Hallå Soul.
Hello Seoul.
So that's like the Swedish version of hello.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Yeah, hello.
Okay.
Well, I got contacted by a few publishing labels. They wanted publishing, what do you call it, book labels.
Publishing companies?
Yeah, they wanted me to write basically biography, and I said no, because you know, I think when you're 80, maybe you can write a biography. But then I thought about it more and realized that why not? You know, I love Korea, so why not make it not a biography, but instead kind of a Seinfeld take on Korea and Koreans, my experience here. So I just, you know, and during my time here, I had already taken many notes of funny things I like here.
Yes.
So I just, you know, started doing that even more, and it became a book that apparently is very funny for Koreans to read, and it's about how my life here and how my view on Korean people, and you know, all the crazy things they do. And
I had a chance to receive your book only yesterday, but I did kind of flip through it, and I saw a couple of really kind of cute stories and funny stories. I know I have a couple of favorites from what I saw last night. I'm just curious, what are some of your favorite stories from Hello Seoul?
Oh my God, there's so many. It's like I do love my first trip to Jimbildbang. That was pretty
yes.
insane here.
And the Jimbildbang, for those audience members who don't know what that is, it's kind of like a warm, heated room that's kind of attached to a sauna, and you just are there to sweat out you know, the toxins in your body, and it's usually co-ed.
It is, and for me, I like the sauna part more, and you know, it's just, you know, you have all those small towels, and you have no idea how to behave, you know, and they look at you like, what, you know, all the adyumas and haraguchis and stuff. It was amazing, it really fun, and well, I think one story that Koreans like a lot, and is also about my view on, they use umbrellas here a lot, you know, and in Europe and in Sweden especially, I mean, I never had an umbrella in my entire life. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter if it rains. You know, maybe you pick one up if it rains really hard, but you know, it's just water. You know, who cares? You know, it's gonna be fine. But in Korea, it's like if one drop comes, they freak out. They start running. You know, like, oh my God, it's raining, and everybody tells me like, oh, you have to take umbrella because otherwise you're gonna get bald, and you know.
Oh yes.
And it's so cute. It's so funny because to me that's absolutely bizarre, but in a very cute way.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing about the bald thing is that they believe that it's acid rain. Right?
I know it's toxic. I know it's toxic, but still, you have to have like, you know, basically stand in showers of toxic for like hours of hours.
Yes.
You know, it's not that toxic though.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's very funny. I think for foreigners, it's very funny. Like, what is this? You know.
Exactly. And Korea's acid rain is actually not a serious problem at all. Like, it's kind of urban myth.
Well, you know, like every country has all those small things, you know, and since I do love Korea so much, you kind of embrace all those things and make them, because it's just different styles here in many ways.
Sure. What has been some of the things that have really endeared you to being in Korea?
You mean made me want to stay here? Well, obviously I'm a big fan of the food here, and but I would say more the food culture, the food and drinking culture, the nightlife culture. It's very cheap here, and the meal is an important thing here. And I like that. You go out together, you have drinks, and you know, eat together. It's very inspiring.
It's very social here in Korea.
It's very social. Yeah, I love that.
And
it's social and relaxed.
Yes. And I'm curious, have you any favorite Korean foods?
It goes up and down. Samgyetang used to be like one of my big favorites.
Yes.
Still good, but
it's like the big chicken soup with the actual chicken still inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's good. You just feel comfortable. But if you eat that too much, you get a little bit bored at it. Summertime, naengmyeon is like, I like that a lot. And
the cold noodle soup.
Yeah, cold noodle soup. But I would say still the most social thing is any kind of kalbi, like Korean barbecue.
Yes, yes.
And I think most foreigners appreciate that a lot because everybody loves meat, you know. My personal favorite, however, is grilled fish, if you get it on right places, like in Jeju or like that.
Now, you've been to Jeju Island several times.
Yeah, I love it.
What is it that attracts you to Jeju Island? Because I know that there are many foreigners, many non-Koreans who are traveling all over the world to come here to Jeju. So what do you think is the appeal?
Well, first of all, it's much greener than the rest of Korea, I would say, and that's very appealing. It's just a feeling. It's very slow-mo. Everything is like slow motion, you know, and the food is great, really good. And I had a really good experience from Jeju people. They're really very kind, I think. So for me, it's more about the feeling than the actual beauty of the island, to be honest. Volcano, obviously, is cool. If for some reason I couldn't work with music, I would work with cooking. I would like to be a chef. That's my other real passion, is cooking and, you know, being in the kitchen and just creating stuff. Pretty much like music, I think. I never cook the same dish twice. I love to, you know, be fresh and, you know, just improvise. So that's a huge passion of mine, cooking.
Do you ever feel like there are times where you've just really just fallen flat on your face? And
oh my God,
and
of course, yeah.
How did you recover from those times? Can you give us an example?
Well, that's the thing. I kind of like those feelings. You know, that's kind of love too. And like, it doesn't matter to me.
Do you like the feeling of failing?
No, not failing, but I like the feeling of doing something that I'm not. That's why, like, if I have a concert, I practice very, very little. I like being on stage and almost have no idea what I'm doing. You know?
Wow.
Because that gives you the edge. Like, you have to stay sharp. You know, you have to be there in the moment. And yeah, I love that. And that, so I don't care if I'm falling, because like Batman, you have to fall to rise. You know, pretty much it's how it works, and that's how I work as a person. And
I mean, it sounds like you're very much an adventurous person, but also like very risk-taking, because that's really risky. Like, you've got, you know, several hundred, possibly thousands of people there for your concert with very little preparation. I mean, I'm sure you know the songs, right? But
not always. It's like, I love that risk-taking. And you know, I was really wild kid when I was a teenager. I did a lot of crazy stuff. You know, I don't want to go into it, but I was pretty wild. And
like, give us an example of what.
Well, you know, I did things early on that I shouldn't been doing. I made a lot of mistakes. I traveled a lot alone when I was too young. You know, I got robbed. I got into bad accidents, and bad things happen. But why not? And when I tell those stories to Korean people, they're like, "Oh my God, you know, you're too young, or why did you do that?" And but well, I did it because, you know, I was always, my sister is like the perfect sister. No, maybe she will hate me because I'm saying that now, but she's amazing. I love her. But she's always like the good one, and I was always a bad one. You know, my mother.
The black sheep of the family.
Well, you know, my mother was always worried about me. Never worried about her, because I was always in trouble. I was always had no money. I was always, you know, running around or going away on trips. You know, like, and then they couldn't stop me. You know, so that's basically how I feel about everything.
Well, it sounds like you're definitely a free spirit.
And I'm very free
without
spirit.
being a free spirit, and it's hard to be as creative as you are to do the music that you're doing and the screenplays.
I like losing control. That's always been my greatest fear and also my greatest passion. All my scripts, it comes back to that feeling when you lose control of yourself.
That's really interesting that you say that, because after a concert or after a performance, a lot of artists say that there's a feeling of just real emptiness, like a void afterwards. It's like they've given the maximum energy that they possibly can, and then they're left with like nothing. And it's so easy for a lot of artists to, you know, really go into a downward spiral. Drugs, you know, lots of just things that aren't good for them. How do you deal with something like that? And do you experience that yourself?
Yeah, there's actually one chapter about that in the book. And it's very true. After a concert, you are on the stage. If you have a good concert, you are kind of feeling like you're God. It sounds ridiculous, but you feel really powerful. Afterwards, when you're in the, you know, dressing room, you are like completely alone. You feel like you are alone. Especially of the singer, you are like, you have two options after concert. Either you go home and you just be sad, or you just bounce back at it. Because after a show, I always do like autograph sessions. That's been like kind of my motto to do that my entire life. So after that, I'm completely drowned out, you know, because then you just have to smile for 1 hour too. Like, and I love my fans, so I'm happy to do it, but it really takes energy off you, because you are, but it's totally worth it. But after that, I need to party immediately, because otherwise I'm dead, you know. And you also, you have no energy. You sweat like tons, and, you know, when you're on stage.
You need lots of replenishment and fluids.
Lots of soju.
Speaking of your fans, you do have quite a high number of fans that are women.
Yeah.
And
Is that hard to understand? I'm kidding.
You know, and it's not a surprise. And I wonder, what are some of the craziest stories of some female fans that you've had here in Korea?
Well, female fans in Korea, they are very polite and I have no real crazy story, but, you know, they're more like they come up and they hug you and they shake. They're so nervous, you know.
Oh,
and that's amazing.
So they're so nervous they're shaking.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful feeling, you know. You should not take that lightly. I mean, I should respect that and, you know, feel very proud of myself. So I have only good things to say about Korean fans, actually.
When you're giving a performance here in Korea, I hear from a lot of different people who perform that the crowds here are fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic.
How could you describe a Korean audience as opposed to a Western audience?
Korean audience is very much listening all the time. You can. I made shows here with my guitar 1.5 hours, you know, and that's really hard to do unless you have a perfect crowd.
Yes.
If you sing 1.5 hours with one guitar, you need them to be right there, and they are. And once again, I have only good things to say about Korean fans.
Fantastic. Well, Lasse, it's been such a pleasure talking to you, and I know that you have quite the experience of living in Seoul and living in the Hongdae area, and I know you've got another schedule that's an interview. So how about we walk through Hongdae and you can kind of show me around a little bit before we get to your interview. Great.
Okay, cool.
Okay, great.
Two most important people. I mean, it's silly to say you're my mom and dad, but it has to be my mom and dad. You know, they're like my foundation of, you know, stability. They never ever stopped. They never doubted me at all. They always supported me when I was a kid. Never even once said, "Oh, cut your hair and get a job." You know, it will always like, "Yeah, be pop star, be this. You know, do that." So, and I feel very comfortable near them, and with my sister, of course, too.
So here we are in Hongdae, the famous place where all the kids come to listen to all kinds of music. And you're familiar with this area, yes?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. You know, Koreans love singing and entertaining, and I know that's probably why you're such a hit here. But there are so many karaoke's, like in Korea they call it 노래방.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to one?
Dude, many times.
Many times?
Almost not every time I go up, but a lot of times they want me to go in there and, you know, sing. And, you know, it's fun, you drink and you sing and stuff.
Yeah.
They always want me to sing my song, because it's always in there.
That's right, your songs are in the book, so.
Yeah, but I always screw up, you know, because you have so much pressure, you have to sing perfectly.
Do you ever get less than a perfect score singing your own song?
Every time.
Oh, really?
One time I was pretty soju thinking. I got like 70 points.
70?
But you know, it's always fun. You know, it's a great. Yeah, I love it. And in Sweden, it's very different. Karaoke means that you are singing like for like many people. Here you are in a small room.
Yeah.
I like this much more.
I really prefer. It's much more intimate, and it's okay to make a mistake, but you're with friends.
Exactly.
So,
It doesn't matter what score you get. And then you go eat, and you go back and sing, or you go ring. I love how you go from, you know, different restaurants for the whole night. You know.
Yeah. They call it the 1차, 2차,
Exactly.
3차.
Yeah,
you know, the
I love
first,
that. Yeah.
second, and third places to go and have
I love
fun.
the fourth place. You know.
The fourth place.
Like, oh.
But then it's like what, 6 a.m. in the morning, right?
Well, yeah. Then you go to after club.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you know, I know that we're on our way to go for another interview for you.
Yeah.
You're such a popular guy. From one interview to the next.
Whoa.
I think that there might be a couple things along the way that you said that you wanted to kind of talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna go a little bit more into the more quiet area of Hongdae. That's I like more actually.
Yeah.
So there's some nice coffee shops and tea places for me though. I don't drink coffee.
Wonderful. Great. Well, we are on our way, and let's go find some tea.
Yeah. Ladies first, right?
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, what a cute little cafe.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. I like it there.
Nice. Oh, I can see why you like to come here. So where are they?
There you are.
Oh. So you're here for your interview, yes?
Yes, for my interview.
Great.
Hey.
와, 예, 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다.
Sure.
Let's hear some more from Yeongene, the Korean indie singer who collaborated with Lasse.
네, 앨범이 너무 잘 나와가지고 정말 주곡의 노래와 주곡의 인스트루멘털인데 정말 너무 잘 들었습니다. 어떻게 두 분이서 이렇게 시한부 지금 콜라보레이션을 하시게 되셨는지 두 분 한 말씀씩 다 해주시면
He'd
감사하겠습니다.
like to know how you two decided to collaborate, and if both of you, each of you, can say a little something about it.
You go first.
처음에는 저는 원래 알고 있었고 라스 린드 씨를 워낙 그 신촌에서 자취하신다고 유명하시잖아요. 저는 지금까지 살고 계시는 줄 알았어요. 근데 들은 얘기에 의하면 요즘 왔다 갔다 하시면서 작업하시는데 콜라보레이션 같은 걸 해보고 싶어 하셨다고 전부터. 그래서
I can say, well, I was attracted to her voice, very different style, I think. Since I have a pretty different voice too, I think a good match.
Music really is a language that is spoken all over the world. The two musicians were able to come together despite their different styles. What did Yeongene think about working with Lasse?
같은 음악을 하는 분으로서 라세 린드 씨를 어떻게 생각을 하시는지.
제가 처음에 음악만 들을 때는 한국에 사신다고 해서 특이하다, 한국을 좋아하는 외국 뮤지션이라니 이 정도로만 생각을 하고 음악 좋다, 목소리가 되게 섹시한 그런 느낌이 있다, 그런
그렇죠,
걸 생각하고 만났는데 막상 만나서 같이 인터뷰를 하고 작업을 하면서 얘기를 하다 보니까 자기 소신이 정말 강한 뮤지션이고 그 음악에 다른 것을 잘 신경 쓰지 않는 자기 색깔이 분명한 그런 사람인 것 같아요. IT 기술이나 그런 거에 기대지 않는 올가닉한 뮤지션이고
인형 뮤지션.
네. 앞으로의 행보가 되게 기대되고 한국에 언제 오실지 모른다고 하셨는데 자주 오셨으면 좋겠어요.
아유, 좋은 말씀 해주셔서
네.
감사합니다. 진짜. 네.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
네.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Lasse.
hey.
It was great to meet
Let's
you.
hug it out.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was great to meet you and spend time.
Yeah,
Get to
stay
know-
in touch with
Definitely.
and let me know when it's finished and
Definitely,
everything. And
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we'll be in touch for sure.
High five.
Great, all right.
Let's get got to you. The broken and the dry heart wore you out, but don't you cry. Wipe your tears, look harder, you're not alone. No, we're down here, most of us still searching. But don't you know the world keeps spinning round? No matter if you're broken, lost or found. And don't you